Hello, this is Women for Wealth. I want to start off today by saying I am not a financial advisor. I'm simply a woman who found a way through trial and error to build wealth for herself, and I want all of you to do the same thing. So the first thing I want to start off with is there's a lot of financial advice on YouTube, and I found some of it's great, some of it's not really good, especially for women. So I just want to kind of go through a couple of things that I found. So I think this is just bad advice for some women. The first thing is starting a side hustle to quit your job. Side hustles are great. I know a lot of women who have Etsy shops. Supposedly candles have really good profit margin. There's a lot of different things that women are skilled at outside of the regular 9 to 5. And if you have a skill that someone else is willing to pay for, I think that's great. And I think you should do that for extra cash. But using your side hustle to justify quitting your job, I don't think is the fastest way to wealth. I really don't. Why do I say that? First of all, having a job with a company, you get health insurance benefits. Companies actually help with your premiums. I do with my company. I help every employee a little bit with all of their premiums. That's something that I do to help promote them and help facilitate them to make what I think is the right decision with having health insurance. And most employers do. The second thing is 401k matching. Now my company matches up to 6%. And I tell every single employee, I want you to do at least 6% in 401k so you get the full company match. That's like adding to your salary. I think it's the best way to go. If you can do more than 6%, that's great. If you can do 10% or 15%, that's wonderful. If you can use your side hustle to offset some of your income needs so that you can invest more for retirement, I think that's great. But taking and starting a side hustle, and as soon as you start getting a little bit of traction, quitting your job, I think is the worst decision ever. This is my opinion. This is based on my own experience as well as my friends and family's experiences. Do not quit your regular 9 to 5 job just because you have a side hustle that is starting to gain traction. Now, if your side hustle turns into a true legitimate business and you're hiring employees and you're managing employees and you've got good profit margin, you're paying yourself a salary through your company like what I do, then that's great. Make that your full-time job and then get something else for your side hustle. For example, I have a side hustle that I don't really make any money off of. So I grow cut flowers and I put them out for my neighbors, and it's a donation system where they pick up cut flowers. If they want to donate to offset my cost, that's great. If they don't, that's fine. It's not an income stream for me per se. It is something that I do because I enjoy doing it. I make my neighbors happy. They love getting the fresh flowers. They love bouquets on their table on Sundays. So that's something that I do almost as community outreach. I don't use my side hustle of cut flowers as a way to generate income. But again, if you have a way that you can have an Etsy shop on the side and you can generate extra income that you can use toward investing more for retirement or family vacations. I have friends that have side hustles. One of them that I also do that I make some profit from is I sell One Hope wine. With that, I don't generate a lot of income from it because I'll be honest, I don't push it that much. But I can tell you that there are women in my group that's how they fund their family vacations every year. So they're able to take their family to Disney for a week, as an example. And I think that's great. So I am an advocate of side hustles, but I'm not an advocate of side hustles as a way to quit your 9 to 5. The next item is rental property. Again, I have personal experience with rental property. I've had long-term rentals. I've had short-term rentals. It was a nightmare. It was so stressful. It gave me anxiety. I couldn't find good property managers. I couldn't find consistent people to clean the way it needed to be cleaned between flips if it was the short-term rental. It was just an absolute nightmare. And I ended up selling every single one of those. And that is a big one that you will hear on most other YouTube videos that are talking about finance and wealth and how to build wealth. They will tell you, you gotta have rental property. You gotta own property. Every rich person in America has owned property. And for me, it wasn't the best way for me. I found that taking that energy and investing it into my company, the company was able to grow, and that end result was me making more money. So I personally made more money taking the time and effort in investing in my own company to grow that than I did from rental properties. Everyone is different. If you don't mind dealing with tenants, that's great. My brother is over $1 million in net worth, way more than me at this point. He's 7 years older than me. He started with rental trailers when he was in his 20s. He has probably 100 now, if not right at 100 rental trailers. And he makes anywhere from $100 to $150 a week on each and every trailer. Now, for him, he has no problem dealing with renters. He has no problem dealing with maintenance. He has no problem every time somebody moves out before somebody else gets moved in. He's got to go in, he's got to gut, he's got to do repairs, he's got to paint, he's got to replace carpet. This doesn't bother him at all. And so for him, it has been a wealth vehicle. So I'm not saying it's wrong for everybody. I'm just saying rental properties were not for me. And I don't want you thinking if you try rental properties and it doesn't work for you that you're a failure in some way, shape, or form, because you're not. The next item, getting out of debt before investing. Now, I think I mentioned this in the first or second video. I've done the Dave Ramsey Financial Peace Program not once but twice. I am an advocate of getting out of debt. It is imperative that you get out of debt if you're going to build wealth. That being said, do not wait until you're out of debt before you start investing in your future. If it's $100 a week, $100 a month, $50 a month, whatever you can afford as soon as you can afford it, you need to start investing for retirement. So why? Basically, it's the genius of compound interest. Compound interest will make you wealthy if you're patient. You have to give it time. And I'm talking decades. I'm not talking months. You have to invest consistently, regularly. You have to leave it in these investment EFTs, growth stock mutual funds, long-term investment. We're talking investing in groups of individual stocks, not individual stocks. I'm not an advocate of individual stocks or day trading or any of the rest of that. I don't think that's a great way to go about building wealth, because for me, again, it goes back to knowledge and time. It takes a lot of research. It takes consistent daily, weekly research for you to invest in individual stocks and to know how they're going to react and respond. And then you're still kind of gambling. Even if you do your research, you're still kind of gambling. So go the long, slow tortoise route. Don't go the hare route. You will get there eventually. You will have wealth eventually. Okay, so those are the three main items that I have down for bad advice that I've heard for building wealth. Again, this is my personal experience. I am not a financial advisor in any way, shape, or form. Formal education, I'm an electrical engineer. I do have an MBA. On-the-job training, I am a CEO and owner and founder of 3 companies that I run. So I do have experience there. But basically, why would you listen to me? Because I've done it. I am the female that raised 4 kids, had the career, did the research, learned how to invest, and took my family from having our water cut off to 15 years later being worth over $1 million. Again, I am not smarter than you. I don't have more knowledge or experience than you. I'm just someone who's been there, done that, and I want you to do it too. Whether you're a young single female, whether you're mid-career, whether you're a mom with 4 kids, whatever your station in life, it is doable, it's attainable, and that's the message that I want you to hear. And I want you to also understand that if you try some of this stuff and it doesn't work, that's okay. It's okay to fail. Realize, all right, kind of like rental property. All right, rental property is not for me. That's fine. Sell it, move on. Find the next thing that does work for me. And I want you to do that. I want you to try. I want you to budget. If you're married, while it's important for your husband and you to be on the same page financially, I would say do not wait on him to totally buy into the program. I didn't with my husband. I basically said, look, I've been researching this. I understand it. I know math. I'm going to worry about the family finances. My husband will tell you right now, he has no clue how much money's in the bank. There's a joke where his brother told him, hey, if you don't know how much is in the bank, ask Heather, hey, can I buy a new guitar? If she says yes, say, can I buy a new car? If she says yes, say, can I buy a rental property? And just see where she says no. And then you know where the threshold is of how much you have. Now that's a joke, that's not truly how we're going to do it. I can say that because I've been able to grow the wealth, I'm able to spoil my kids and my husband a little bit more than I used to in the past. I used to be a lot tighter on the finances, and no, we can't go out to eat. No, we can't order Uber Eats. No, we can't do XYZ. And now I'm able, because I've been able to build wealth, I'm able to say, sure, let's do that. All right, yeah, you want to do that? Okay. And I'm able to do more things than I used to do. I quite enjoy that. I like being able to spoil my family, and I'm sure you would too. So follow me on this journey, join along. Let's build wealth for women. So the name of the channel, again, I know we've changed it a couple of times. That's a whole nother story. But the name of the channel is Women for Wealth, the number 4. Thank you very much.